started to build up. So that's the layers that you can see in the rock. So where you've got a really thick layer, that's where you've got, it's pretty violent time weather-wise, so a lot of erosion happening, a lot of sediment being put down. And then when you've got the little layers that you can see quite up high on the left-hand side under these, that's a relatively quiet time weather-wise. There's not a lot of erosion happening, so not a lot of sediment being put down. And then over time, that time, pressure, heat, and sand and sediment turns into a rock. Now the natural colour of the rock is the grey colour that you can see down low towards the water level. Okay, that grey colour. That's because the rock down low gets washed every year during the wet season, so it's getting eroded away as well. And the red surface has been taken off, so we can see the natural grey colour underneath. So erosion comes from when those grains of sand have been carried down from the mountains. They got covered in soluble iron, and now that soluble iron is being exposed to the air, it's oxidising. Basically, it's rusting. So we're looking at rusty rock. Where you can see the areas of black rock, okay, it's not actually black rock, it's a cyanobacteria growing on the rock. So cyanobacteria, very primitive life form, photosynthetic bacteria, needs water in order to photosynthesize. So where you get those black marks on the walls, that's where we get water during the wet season. So either as a rain, or as a waterfall, or as a soak where the water's seeping out of inside the rock and running down the face. That's the cyanobacteria. Basically responsible, very primitive, but responsible for producing the atmospheric oxygen that allowed us to evolve into what we are today. Just with the rocks as well, as we go past this section on the right hand side, you can see a singular pandanus tree just growing out there about halfway down the road now. If you look directly behind that pandanus tree, you can see a big vertical line. It's a big line going straight up through the cliff face. That's a natural occurring fault. And what's happening here is called subsidence. So you've got one side of the rock going underneath the other side of the rock. And that's why those horizontal lines or bands don't meet up. It's a pretty good example of subsidence. And you get uplifting and crossbedding and all that sort of stuff happening as well in the rocks, which gives you more of your angled lines. You've got Mount Fuji on your right. Spot that we will go through is about half an metre deep, so it does vary quite a bit. And then in the wet season you can kind of see the dark mark a metre or so above the water's edge. That's probably your average height during the wet, but it depends on what rain we get upstream. We do get big floods coming through. The last major flood we had through here was in 2011, and on your way back to the station after the cruise, after you've left the car bar, made your way up the hill, you'll see some buildings out on the left hand side of the road. That's the homestead, and the left hand most building that you'll see is called the Chamberlain suite. That hangs over